This just in! Breaking news! Our top stories this week include some juicy updates from the monthly block producer meeting, and today is our Pomelo Season 6 Rapid Fire Pitch Session. Welcome everyone to the EOS Fireside chat for Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. My name is Stephane. We've got an exciting show lined up for you. It includes 7 topics, 3 special guests, tons of Pomelo grant owners, so let's get to it. So today's show is going to start off with Alex Prate, co-founder of HyphaDAO, talking about their affiliate program. Then we're moving into the Pomelo Rapid Fire Pitch Session. And then, of course, our weekly segment, EOS EVM updates. We're talking version 0.5 release notes, Noah Swap AMA, and BitKeep integration. And then we'll get to the monthly block producer meeting recap, which, in my opinion, contains a lot of nice information for us to review. Then we're gonna hand over the mic to Denis from Pinax, who's gonna talk to us about Firehose and Substreams on Antelope. And then we've got some Eden election and more updates with Mo, one of our chief delegates. And we're gonna wrap up the show with some reminders about online events and the ecosystem page, as well as the community open mic and the off-topic banter segment. So, hope you guys having a good day. Hope you're hyped for this week's show. I certainly am, so let's jump right into it. So, at this point, I'd like to invite Alex Prate from HyphaDAO for him to talk to us about the affiliate program and potentially other HyphaDAO related news. Alex, how's it going?
Yeah. Thanks, Steven. Yes, really good, really good. Thanks for the invitation. And I'm really pleased to take the mic to announce, an event that we want to organize with all of you, or all of those who want to participate, which is the Hypha on EOS information track that we are organizing ahead of the beta launch. And in this information track, we will talk about all the benefits, all the business opportunities, if you like, that we are creating in the Hypha network. So we have a series of badges, a series of functions, if you like, that will unlock Hypha tokens if you are willing to participate. The first session is next Tuesday at 2 p.m. CET to start talking about, the overview of the Hypha network, what it offers in terms of DAOnomics, tokenomics, business models. But also we'll talk about, all these different programs that we have created to really create this energy, this decentralized energy to enhance and develop and grow the Hypha network on EOS. So it's really an open invitation to all of you to, subscribe to the beta waiting list. And I'm sending a link on the chat for those who want to participate. And to give you a little flavor of, the different benefits and programs that we are creating, I want to talk about the Hypha affiliate program. So this program, rewards everyone willing to onboard DAOs in the Hypha network. And the idea is that if you do that, you will receive 11% of the recurring subscriptions every month, for the DAOs that you have actually onboarded. So by doing that, we want to reciprocate, and create value for everybody to participate into this expansion. And we think that, by bringing the EOS, projects together, we can also find, collaboration opportunities to push that even further. Another example is to become a service DAO, for example, for your DAO, if you want to create a DAO, so that you can deliver services, and create your own business model on the Hypha network. And service, all the organizations that are crossing the mirror to join us and use a DAO. As I was saying in a previous meeting that we had on the Fireside, we are expecting to reach 250,000 organizations by the end of 2026. So that's ambitious, but we are thinking that we can achieve that by decentralizing the energy in the Hypha network. So we really, invite all of you, if you want to participate and want to explore these opportunities, to join us. And there's much more to be said, but I leave that to the session. That's really the announcement that I wanted to make. So next Tuesday, 27th, we are starting the sessions.
And those are going on Twitter Spaces?
No, so these will be on Zoom, on invitation. So that's why I've shared the link to the beta program, the beta waiting list. So everybody wanting to participate to those sessions, click on this link, register, on the beta waiting list, and I'll contact you directly, to invite you to those sessions.
There you go. So sign up to the waiting list, join the information session next week. And exciting to hear these HyphaDAO updates.
We're really excited to, and hoping to see a lot of energy coming through. So thanks a lot.
All right, awesome. While we have you on the Fireside, thanks a lot for taking the time to join us today, by the way. If there's anyone that wants to jump on the stage, ask a question, or share a question in the chat, we can definitely take a couple minutes to address some of those questions. While we wait, I'll put a bit of background music.
What came up in a meeting earlier today was a question about the position that you guys have taken, and I'm not sure if you did answer that just a moment ago. I was busy, but the position that Hypha has taken regarding your status, your organizational status in Liechtenstein. Does that follow through to all of the DAOs that sign up on the beta and going forth?
So yes, so we are incorporating in Liechtenstein, and that's for a really clear reason, which is that we have received a grant, from the European Union and the Liechtenstein. At least one ecosystem that we have in the Hypha network received this grant, 3 million euros, to promote DAOs and blockchains across Europe. It's called the European Digital and Innovation Hub, and there are 150 hubs, throughout Europe. So we are going on in a campaign, if you like, to create this interest towards nation states to incorporate, to evolve their legal frameworks, to being able to incorporate DAOs, throughout Europe. There are some jurisdictions, of course, that have experimented that, but I think now the context is favorable for the entire European, Union and above to move towards this adoption of DAOs, and it's a massive opportunity for us, and that shows us that we can transition, Web2 organizations to the DAO space. So yes, Hypha is incorporating in Liechtenstein, and each DAO in the Hypha network will choose, the legal form they want to use. Right, so we will make it easier and easier through partnerships, through features, to create, the related legal structure that corresponds to the project. But for now, of course, it's the responsibility of each DAO to find the best structure for them, depending on the project, So that's the status here. Really exciting, actually, to see how, jurisdictions are now taking the topic of DAOs and thinking about adapting their legal frameworks to welcome this evolution of work and value creation.
Very good. Thank you.
Great question, Perry. Thanks for asking it.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else want to get in here, ask a question of Alex before we move on to our next topic of the day?
Yeah, this is Drew. This is Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
You may have covered this already, and so I may be sort of rehashing things, but I'm curious if, so as I understand it, you have a sort of variety of offerings, and business model-wise, you're essentially offering those up for a fee, that kind of thing. I'm just curious if there's any sort of, if it's like a freemium move up to the more premium options, or I'm just sort of curious how that works.
Yeah, sure. So we are offering, we have a DAO builder and we're offering DAO as a service, right? That's the idea, to offer to any groups of humans, organizations who want to self-organize themselves and get in a DAO context to experiment, with this DAO. And we have different pricing models. And that's also something that we will detail, in these information sessions that I was announcing. But to respond to your question, yes, we have a freemium. Yes, we have a subscription model, for convenience, especially for Web2 organizations coming into the space, so that it's convenient and they don't need to manage complexity, around subscribing to a DAO. But we also have what we call an ecosystem as a service, with this idea that you stake Hypha tokens and you for your members, right? 5 Hypha tokens per member, and then you get access to the to all the features. So that's a more integrated version, the ecosystem as a service, with this idea that we all co-invested in the success of the project and the expansion of DAOs, in our space. So by staking your tokens, we have also, worked on the tokenomics, the Hypha tokenomics, so that we can create DAO incentives for all the DAOs that are actually contributing to the health of the entire ecosystem, the entire network. And of course, by deploying, on EOS, we are also nurturing, this idea of community on the EOS network, and we are hoping that new collaborative ways, new value flows, and business opportunities can open up for you guys, in that context. And yes, to your question, we have many different use cases in different sectors, social, political, economic, cultural, ecological, which is our roots, right? And also psychological, social psychological sectors. And that's really beautiful to see the diversity of projects that are actually willing to use the DAO, and to experiment with this new way of organizing, human organizations to create more value and more impact. So yeah, that's the story. The pricing is available on our website. I can link that to you if you want more information.
That's awesome. Thank you for such a comprehensive answer. That's great. It's exciting too.
Yeah, I'm sharing the pricing.
Great, thanks for the question, Andrew. All right, Alex coming in hot with all of the relevant links in the chat. Love to see it. Thank you, Alex.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming on the Fireside. And
no problem.
We look forward to future updates from HyphaDAO.
We will, yes. Thanks so much.
All right, have a good one. Okay. Before moving on to our next topic, which is the Pomelo rapid fire pitch sessions. Allô, Patrick?
Allô, allô,
Allô, Patrick? Oui? Comment ça va?
allô.
All right. We're going to mute Patrick. And we're going to keep going. Can you guys hear me in the chat? Just a real quick. Okay, ça va bien. I think we're good. All right. So as I was saying, thank you for joining us live on Discord. We love it when you guys join the show, come on stage, ask some questions, either on the mic, in the chat, share some memes, share some emojis, all of it. We love it. We also appreciate it if you're tuning in from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you are. Make sure to like and subscribe this show, share it on social media, and help us spread the word about all of the exciting news and updates that are going on in the EOS ecosystem. All right, on to our next topic. One of my most anticipated segments of the entire quarter for all of these firesides, the Pomelo Rapid Fire Pitch Session. All right, so I see a lot of grant owners in the chat already. So if you want to take 30 seconds and pitch your grant to the community, now's the time to write your name in the chat below. I'll be noting down everyone who wants to join and then inviting people on stage one after the other. If I give you a thumbs up on your message in the chat, it's because I've seen it and I've registered your name, and then we're gonna start the pitch session. So 30 seconds, I will be timing you guys. Last time we did this was really fun. Everyone really pretty much kept it to 30 seconds, so that was great. We want to keep that going. And yeah, I will be timing you guys and potentially cutting you off if you go too long. All right, here we go. Adam from Detroit Ledger Technology, first in line to sign up to this pitch session. Let's start it off. Adam, are you able to join me on stage and get this ball rolling? You are server muted. Let me unmute you. That might help.
Okay, yeah, give me 1 second and I'll be ready. Okay.
Sure thing. Dario, I see your request to join. That's great. We'll get you on the list. Who else is on here? Mudman as well. I'll put my name on there also. We got DJ Striker Nova signing up. June Dam. Artem, awesome. Love to see it. Everyone keep those signups coming. And of course, sign up for the Twitter Spaces pitch session. The last one's going on tomorrow. You can find the sign up sheet on the Twitter, Pomelo Grant's Twitter account. And I will be pitching tomorrow on the Twitter Spaces as well. On there, you have 5 minutes for your pitch, so you can share a bit more information than you can share today. Actually, while we're waiting for Adam to get ready, I wanted to go cover some stats of Pomelo before we get into the pitch sessions. So, just pulled up the stats just a couple minutes ago. I'm gonna go by different pools. So of course, we've got 4 different pools this season. Starting off with the EOS EVM pool. Right now, we've got 22 approved grants and 117 unique contributors to that pool. Very cool. EOS GameFi pool, we've got 12 approved grants and again, 117 unique contributors to that pool. For the Everything EOS pool, 59 approved grants as expected. This is a very popular pool. A lot of grants qualify for this one with 184 unique contributors. And the Telus pool has 17 approved grants with 65 unique contributors for it. So that's great to see. Not surprised to see all the action in the Everything EOS pool, but also very happy to see that we've got a decent amount of grants for all of the pools making looks like a very successful, first multi-pool season for Pomelo. So good job to the Pomelo devs that worked really hard to get all of this ready and going. And good job to all the grant owners that got in there and qualified for these various pools. I know there's some questions about what exactly allows you to qualify for different pools, etc. This is the first season we're multi-pool, so it is kind of expected that there would be some questions around that topic. We are going to try to make it more obvious and evident what the requirements and qualifications are for each pool. And of course, we're always trying to improve season over season. So make sure to fill out the survey at the end of the season if you've got valuable feedback you want to share with the Pomelo team. All right, let's get to the pitch sessions. Adam, are you ready to fire?
Yes.
All right, go for it. Your 30 seconds starts now.
Okay, so Detroit Ledger Technologies is looking for support for Open Block Explorer, a robust open source block explorer that was incubated by the TCD from Telos. DLT is near completion of the work required to ensure a smooth multi-chain experience for the Antelope coalition chains, and we'll be deploying it to explorer.antelope.io soon. We all know blocks has been gradually degrading in quality, and we want OBE to serve as a community DAO, maintain replacement, and build in various features to have it reach feature parity with blocks, as well as some other additional features, as well as build out revenue-generating features such as constant banners.
All right, thanks, Adam. You busted your 30 seconds there by a bit, but you still got a lot of good information out there. Make sure to share a link to your grant in the chat today, and so people who are in here on Discord can kind of click to it right away and donate to your grants. That's
Will do.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for kicking us off there. Next up, I'd like to invite Dario to talk to us about EOS support and EOS audit. So if you've got 2 grants you're promoting, I'll give you up to 1 minute to pitch both of them if you want.
Yes, that's okay, yeah.
All right, go for it, Dario.
As the network's concierge, it is vital to allocate some of our resources to educate builders about the EOS EVM while continuing to make developers and other crypto communities aware of native EOS. EOS support has been dedicated to delivering high-quality news content to assist EOS EVM, EOS, and its user community. As the designated concierge for the EOS network, we are excited about introducing instructional articles, comprehensive guides, and tab overviews for the EOS EVM. Thank you for your support.
All right, thank you, Dario. Does that cover both grants, or did you want to go for EOS audit?
Yeah, then I go for EOS audit now, yeah.
Okay, cool. Just go for it.
Quickly. Okay. EOS audit is created to assist Pomelo and the broader EOS community in making informed decisions. EOS audit provides a comprehensive review and analysis of Pomelo projects, their updates, and their progress. We have a form where the EOS community can recommend grants to be analyzed. I will post the link in the chat. Your donation makes a difference in bringing accountability to the EOS community. Kindly continue to support us by donating to Pomelo via pomelo.io/grants/audit. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dario. Thank you for all the great work you do for EOS support and the rest of the EOS support team. All right, next up, we've got Evan talking about the Culture Block / Antelope Pomelo grant. Welcome to the Fireside, Evan. Technical difficulties, can't chat. Let's see, we need to add you to the member role. So there we go, that's done. You'll have to leave the voice chat and come back, and it should be fixed. We'll get back to you in just a bit. Oh, there you go. That was quick.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, yes we can, Evan. Welcome to the Fireside.
All right, I'll hop right into it then.
Let's go.
Culture Block is an initiative actively working to grow awareness for the Antelope Antelope ecosystem while fostering healthy online communities in EOS, Telos, UX, and WAX networks. Our grant this season is the Antelope Chronicle, a biannual zine highlighting culture, lore, and community news. It offers short content that community members can read online, share with friends, or print off to hand out at events. By providing high-level news of what's happening in EOS alongside news from Antelope, we aim to keep all stakeholders, contributors, and community members aligned and informed. So content creation, event hosting, everything from memes to videos and events like this. Perfect. Thanks for your time.
All right, Evan, thank you for this pitch and good luck in season 6 of Pomelo.
Cheers.
All right. Next up, we've got DJ Strikanova coming to talk to us about NFT Indexer.
Hey, do you hear me?
Hey, yes, we do.
Great. So yeah, last season, I collected all the NFTs off Atomic Hub, analyzed them using AI algorithms, and annotated them all. And I provided a demo where you can see all those annotations. And so this season, I'm looking for more funding to improve the UI. Like this demo was very basic. I want to use Instant Search JS and also kind of integrate a little bit with Atomic Hub, like provide links to the NFTs themselves. So if you find like something you really like through your searches, you can just go directly to the NFT there and buy it off Atomic Hub. That's my goal. Thank you.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you, DJ Strikanova, and good luck with your grant today. All right, next up, Steph. Hey, that's me. I'm going to be talking about the Hot Sauce grant. So the Hot Sauce is the longest running EOS news show in the ecosystem. We're up to over 200 episodes. They started off written. Now we're doing them live on YouTube every Friday. Basically, I try to recap the most important news of the day in about 15 minutes or less. We try to get you as much updates as possible in the least amount of time so you can get on with your week and be as informed as possible about what's going on in EOS. We appreciate your support. All right. Next up, I'd like to invite June to pitch his grant for us. June, are you able to join us on stage? Did I mute you? Yes, I did. There we go. I unmuted you.
Hey,
should help out a tiny bit.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey June, yeah, we can hear you. A bit of echo, but still that's fine. So let's hear it. What's your Pomelo grant about?
Okay, hey, thanks. So yeah, imagine with one key, you can use the EOS ecosystem as well as Ethereum, Binance Chain, Avalanche, Polygon, and all the other chains on the EVM network. That's what we're trying to build, a open source infrastructure to make that happen, a multi-chain wallet. And our grant is called Smart Wallet EVM. And I'll put that on the chat. But yeah, we appreciate your support for that. Yeah, multi-chain wallet, and have the same functionality on EVM that you are used to, and on EOS, which is MSIG and just many of the other features that EOS has. We can now do that on EVM with this project. So that's the first one. Smart Wallet is the grant name. And I have a second one as well, if I can maybe just share a little bit.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
Great. So the second one is called Smart Sale EVM. And on Ethereum, there is something called the Gnosis Smart Contract that enables people to raise money using the Dutch auction, which is a fair way to get price discovery, and it's a fair way for token distribution. It's similar to the EOS ICO where they did a reverse Dutch auction, or we participated in that. So that's Smart Sale EVM, and that enables you to raise money from many, many other chains, not only EOS. So I think that gives us really great coverage from all the crypto investors out there. Again, that's Smart Sale, and I'll put that on the chat as well.
All right. Thank you very much, June, for those pitches, and good luck in Pomelo.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we've got Artem. And talk to us
hey
about
everyone.
New Chat and ADEX. So these are two grants that you have?
Yes, sir.
All right, go for it. Let us know what they're all about.
Yeah, first one, the project name is the New Chat. It's open source gamify application for private and public communication on the chain. So we are participating in the gamify pool, and we are building open source tool for any game to build a communication layer fully on chain for public and private communication. Imagine like you are building a game on the chain, so you can just integrate our protocol, communication protocol, and start communicate between your players in the group chat, private chat, guild chat, raid chat, or any kind of communication directly on the chain in encrypted format or in the public way. So both are supported.
All right,
this
great.
is the
Thank
first
you.
one.
Sounds good. And talk to us about ADEX.
So ADEX is a decentralized exchange, multi-chain on the Antelope, focusing firstly on the Antelope, but with Season 6 we participate in the EOS EVM pool, and we would like to build the IBC support like for front-end and UI stuff, and include these tools in our SDK, so users will be able to bridge between the native and EOS EVM chains in both ways. So it's open source software such as SDK for ADEX. So we are building tools for developers. Thanks everyone. Links in chat.
Perfect. Thank you for pitching on the Fireside, and good luck in Pomelo. All right, next up, let's get Perry on stage for him to talk to us about his D-News grant.
Fantastic, Stephane. Can I have 1 minute? I've got 2 grants. Is that okay?
30 seconds per grant. So yeah, you can have a minute if you've got 2 of them. No problem.
Okay. Thank you, Stephane. Most of you are familiar with D-News. You know it's a website where I aggregate videos, articles, and podcasts on different platforms, including YouTube, Medium, and Spotify, where you can browse and search the news and events presented as a cross-platform, cross-media web app specifically tuned to our EOS.io Antelope Fractally community. What you probably didn't know, because I just released it, is that now your experience is totally customizable by each community member. That's you. You can search and browse and do everything you used to do, except now you can choose exactly which feeds to show in your reader. You can focus on just the feeds that are relevant to your work, or include every feed, or anything in between. It's completely up to you. You can reorder your feeds however you like. You can bookmark posts for later reference. Because D-News is a web app, your feeds and bookmarks are available on any device. Just sign up and log in to get started. Super easy.
Great pitch.
Oh.
Great pitch, Perry. That was 1 minute, but feels like you took 1 minute for your first grant. So we're gonna give you a little sad sound effect for not following the instructions, but it's okay.
Well, they're the same grant. Everybody.
Oh.
They can customize it. It's the same project.
I see.
It's the same project, but because it's customizable, each group can make it theirs. That's the beauty of it. Thank you.
Right. So this grant is available in the Everything EOS pool, and is it also available in another pool?
I've applied to the EVM, and I'm waiting for that, and it has successfully been approved as under the Telos pool.
There you go. Okay, that makes sense. Qualifying for multiple pools. I like it. Okay, next up, who do we have? We've got Evgeny with the Like EOS grant. Evgeny, welcome to the Fireside.
Hello, Stephane. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very clearly. So please let us know about your grant.
Okay, my name is Evgeny. I've been trying to develop Russian-speaking community of EOS for 3 years. My project is called like EOS. We are spreading information about EOS and its focus in Russian-speaking crypto community. We translate news, articles, and tutorials about EOS and dApps on EOS. We may cooperate with popular news channel to spread information about EOS. We are active on Telegram, Twitter. We recently launched a website about EOS in Russian language, so soon we will launch on YouTube. We've been spreading information about EOS of internet for 3 years now. So thank you for your support.
All right. Thank you, Evgeny, for the pitch, and thank you for your dedication to the EOS community. You have been around for a long time. I see you in the chats, see you in the Fireside all the time. So it's great to have active and dedicated community members like you part of our community.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up, we've got Patrick that's going to talk to us about his Mind Web grant. Patrick, oh, I think I have to unmute you. I forgot to unmute you earlier. There we go. We have unleashed the Patrick into the server.
Yeah, hello. So, very short, MindWeb, 6 seasons in a row, never rejected. So I am continuing to do MindWeb Cockpit for Pomelo, for EOS DIN, and for the EOS ecosystem as always. So that's what I am doing. Give to MindWeb 33 contributors so far. I am very happy. So continue like this. That's very essential for that I continue and I deliver all the content that I am giving every 2 months with the Antelope Swiss workshop, always backed with mind mapping. You know what I do. I am not even to explain too much. So continue to support me and thank you. That's all.
All right, thank you very much. Solid pitch, Patrick. I hope you get a lot of support this season on Pomelo.
Thank you.
Okay, did I miss anyone? Recep, did you want to come on and share about your grant? Is he still with us? Maybe not. Maybe not. Who else? Let me just check the chat here. Here we've got June sharing his grants for Smart Wallet and Smart Sale. That's great. We've got Artem. Yevon, did you want to come on and talk about your NFT Game Stats grant? Not sure if Yevon... Is he even still here? No, I don't think so. Okay. Oh, here we go. We got Luke DAO that wants to pitch EOS Dashboard. Absolutely, Luke. Get in here, jump on stage, and let's hear about EOS Dashboard. You'll need to unmute yourself. Bottom left mic icon. You can right click on that to fix it. I'll let you play around a bit and we'll get back to you once you've got your audio issues fixed up. All right, we got Perry, unable to speak. It tells you don't have permission. Aha. I will have to assign you a role as a member. There we go. Now, Luke, if you could leave the server and come back, should fix the issue. Anyone else wants to come on in here, pitch a grant? Let me know in the chat. Of course, yes, Patrick.
I just forgot to mention to be very short before, but I am preparing a video showcasing what I am developing. It's a 3-minute video showcasing what is doing MindWeb, so stay tuned. I will publish that in a couple.
All right. Very sneaky way to get an extra pitch in there, Patrick. But it's all good. It's all good. Pomelo commercial, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Never
I see
mind.
we had Luke on the mic. I think it worked. I think I heard you, Luke.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you all. I'm Luke. I've been a long time DeFi and DAO builder. Grew up in EOS early on around Antelope, which is HyphaDAO, which is a project based out of Amsterdam, where I'm also at. With the EOS ecosystem dashboard, we work with a community of over 50 proven analysts to create a free and easy to access overview of all EOS and EOS EVM projects. And the dashboard provides you with insights on all of these projects, also a ladder scoring system, which allows EOS stakeholders to easily coordinate with each other. We're working together with HyphaDAO on this to also extend this into a more comprehensive overview, which, like I mentioned, can be used to increase collaboration capacity, potential insights into projects. We've done this already with other ecosystems, including NFT ecosystems, other blockchains, but now we're finally to EOS, so this is our first Pomelo season.
Hey, that's great, Luke. Welcome to Pomelo, and glad to hear you building in the EOS ecosystem. That's awesome. I hope you get a lot of support for your EOS dashboard grant.
Thank you so much. Excited to be around.
All right, so we had 12 people pitch so far. That's awesome. Just like last season, I'm going to be building a Pomelo collection, highlighting all of these grants. So we had 12 people. A couple of them had a couple grants, so maybe we'll have about 15 grants in there. Maybe some last minute joiners like Dancing Joy are gonna join us and pitch. We'll have a couple more before the end of the show, but everyone who does pitch will be included in that collection. And collections are a great way to leverage the wisdom of the Pomelo crowd, allowing you to easily donate to many different grants that are curated by various community members or sorted by various themes. So for example, this one is going to be all of the grants that took the time to come on the Fireside, grab the mic, stand up on stage, and share with the community what they're all about. You can easily donate to all of them through the collection that's going to be up later on today. There's a bunch of other cool collections on there from your favorite EOS influencers, and so you can definitely leverage that feature to maximize your impact and make sure that all of the best EOS projects get funded through Pomelo. Dancing Joy, yes, you can pitch 30 seconds for each, so you can go for it. Not sure if you have 2 or 3 pitches, but yeah, you can have 30 seconds for each, no problem. 3 Dan in 1, not 3 hours. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out.
Sounds great, Stephane. Thank you. Well, should I go now, or?
Yeah, for sure. Let's hear it, Dan.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for all the great public goods work and helping out the ecosystem. Awesome to hear. Also, on that note, you're talking about collections. That we have a Eden Fractal collection from people building awesome public goods with Eden Fractal, helping people cooperate with social games, social consensus games, and that's at pomelo.io/collection/Eden Fractal. I can share a link in a moment. And yeah, I have 3 Pomelo grants. They're not yet approved, but hopefully they'll all be approved soon, and would very much appreciate everyone's support. We're building some really, really super helpful games and shows and tools that having additional funding will be very, very helpful to provide huge benefit for the EOS community and the world as a whole. The first grant that I'll mention, it's kind of the main grant I've been working on for the past 2 years, is Eden Creators. This is a media outlet where I'm also designing games, and we're growing communities with social consensus games. Basically, we've been creating. There's several different kinds of games that we're creating in addition to shows and tools to help communities. We've been cooperating with these games and making shows and making tools with Eden Fractal for over a year, as I shared a couple weeks ago on the Fireside chat. Thank you very much for that. And we also just launched Fractalian Worlds, Alien Worlds Fractal, which Dwayne had started last year, and Vlad recently got a proposal. So encourage everybody to join these each week. They're awesome. EdenFractal.com, you can learn more, and EdenCreators.com/Alien Worlds Fractal. I applied for the GameFi pool last week, but it still hasn't been approved yet, and I've been messaging with Drew Bopjoy and the Pomelo team in there, so hopefully that will be approved. It is certainly a game, but we'll discuss that more. And,
sure. And usually we reserve these petitions for people that have approved grants. But you've been a very dedicated contributor to EOS, so I would hate to just not have you share your grants. But I guess we're gonna leave it there. You do bring up a good point about what qualifies as GameFi, what doesn't. There is some room for interpretation there, and definitely, like I mentioned a bit earlier in the show, that's a topic that the Pomelo team is looking to add more clarity around for future seasons. But I do hope that your grants get approved, and either way, I'm sure we'll see you again next season. Hopefully, you submit a bit earlier so you're not last minute to get approved for your grants.
Sounds great. I'll just shout out Lisa Chandler. Social games are the future games. I completely agree with Lisa and Daniel Keysjoy. I'd love to speak with you about this because it most certainly is a game. And then also I'll just add to thanks for the opportunity to speak. And I wanted to share, just real quick, the upcoming ones that I'm doing are Eden Town Hall and Fractal Apple. I'm planning to do a Fractal Apple show, giving away maybe a couple hundred EOS to support public goods creators and share music, and do all sorts of great education with my friend Rosemarie coming up hopefully this weekend. And also we have an Eden Fractal Pomelo pitch session where we're playing new Signals games to help people share public goods as well. And also, just a note too, I did submit the Eden Creators over a week ago too, but it did take the Pomelo team about a week to respond to. So thank you very much. It's the greatest game I've ever played as well. And it's the greatest game. So all right,
so
thank you very much.
We've got a bit of action. Might as well address this topic a bit more. Dan is, just to bring clarity to everyone, Dan is pitching these consensus type games and is trying to argue that this qualifies as GameFi. Personally, I understand why it would be branded as a game, and it can be certainly argued like that, but as a gamer and as a blockchain GameFi enthusiast, I would not personally qualify that as a game. Now, I'm not the ones making these decisions for Pomelo. I'm not part of that team. Just sharing my personal opinion. To me, it feels more like a governance experiment than a game. In the traditional gamer, I play tons of Dota all the time type of game. But I can definitely see why there's various people that have different opinions, such as Lisa Chandler saying that social games are the future of games. Drew Joy asking, is Duolingo a game or is it a learning app? Kind of highlighting some of the nuances there. Perry coming in with a definitive, it's the greatest game. Rosemary also showing some support. But I think for this season, I don't think that will qualify as a game. I don't know if Daniel or Drew wants to step in here, open this can of worms even further, or maybe we've covered it enough on the Fireside. If you do want to continue this discussion, if you want to see more of the reasoning from Dan on why he thinks that's a game, join our Pomelo Telegram channel. We've got new topics there to kind of sort the conversations. In the grants channel, that's exactly where we want these types of conversations to happen. Ask your questions, share your reasoning. The team is going to share their reasoning, and we can all kind of learn together through that process.
Sounds good, Stephane. Well, thanks for the opportunity to speak. And I'd love to speak it more because I really want to get this across, because personally, I don't see it as anything but a game. Like, that's how I've seen it the whole time. It seems a bit bizarre to me personally to have people say it's not a game when that's the way I explain it every time. It's the best way. It's not just branding. It's also, this is what it is. Like, games rule. Games change the world. That's what we need. And I invite everybody to join. I saw Lisa wrote, and thank you so much, Lisa and Rosemarie. Greatest game I played as well. I totally agree. Social games are the future of games. Duolingo is a game or a learning app. Why not both? The more we can gamify things, the better we can make it more fun and rewarding for everybody. So we want to.
I mean,
do it.
It's a good point, and I definitely agree that gamifying things is awesome, and I'm a big fan of it. I've got this huge book called Actionable Gamification, which is awesome. But gamification and gaming is different, in my opinion. It's actually very different. Like, I'm very interested in gamification, adding, incentives, leaderboards, all those kind of things, but doesn't necessarily mean that my brother, who's a big gamer, would think that that makes whatever else we're applying gamification to, now that becomes a game. I don't think I would go there personally.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts. And I know we have other exciting topics, so I don't want to take up too much time, but I appreciate the discussion, and I'm very happy to discuss it more. I'd love to share more about these consensus games and social games. And one last thing I'll do is just invite you to join again, Stephane. I know you joined a while ago, and at the time we weren't branding and talking about games, but now it's like very much focused on games. Lisa Chandler said, I don't think everybody's played, and it kind of feels like if it's like, I don't know, the 1980s, you're like, what is this Tetris? Like, we have a new game. It's really cool. It's an awesome app for EOS. It's an awesome game, and I hope everybody joins and plays. I think everybody will really enjoy it. But anyway, thank you so much. I'll also share my links to the chat, and looking forward to discussing more. And thanks all for the great work.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, Dan. Yeah, maybe I will. I know it's been a while since I haven't joined one of your meetings, and like, those games do sound interesting. They do sound fun, even though I would not necessarily consider it a game in the traditional sense. Just to round off this topic, we've got Daniel Keys here in the chat saying that, Pomelo is gamified. Certainly is, but it's not a game. And then Aaron Cox agrees. Same with Help. Yeah, same with Yelp. It's gamified, but it's not a game. All right.
I invite you to join Daniel Keys Joy, and I think you'll have great playing our games. Hopefully you enjoy it. And also, too, we do have another game next week where everybody can come and share their Pomelo grants as well using our new games. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes, Stephane, we invite you to rank you.
I welcome it. No problems there.
Oh, just one thing I'll add to the game we played today with Signals. Basically, we shared the most, like, we all share our speeches, and then we played a game where we ranked each other's and our Pomelo pitches by being most entertaining and most useful. So if anyone wants to share some entertaining and make it more fun, then go ahead. But anyway, I'll stop there.
That does sound fun.
It'd be cool to be here sometime, maybe.
And yeah, I'm definitely not afraid of ranking people and being ranked. My competitive side certainly enjoys that. Okay.
We'll hear a master class from me sometime, Stephane. Thank you.
Nice one, Dan. Okay, cool. We're going to wrap it up here for the Pomelo segment of the show. Good luck to everyone that has a grant out there. One more week of donations. Donations end in just over 7 days. So make sure to get out there, promote your grant, make your collections. Actually, speaking of collections, if you want to pitch your collection, let's do a rapid fire collection pitch right now as well. So if you've got a collection, let me know in the chat. You want to kind of highlight what your collection is all about. I think we can take a couple minutes and go over that. Links to collections. Also, Dave wants these links to help make this show more visually appealing for everyone watching. Like I said, I'm going to be hosting the Fireside pitch session collection. Martin on our team is hosting the other Twitter Spaces pitch sessions. I think he's also going to be doing the collection this season. And these collections last year actually had a fair amount of donations sent through them. So it's great to see that the community is rewarding grant creators that take the time to, talk to the community, step up on stage, and share their grant with the community. Links before you talk, says Dave. Yeah, maybe that should have been part of the instructions. We'll make sure next quarter, when we have our next Fireside Rapid Fire pitch session, we'll make sure to get those links in there. Okay, so if you've got some collections, maybe we'll get back to it at the end of the show. So let's move on to our weekly EOS EVM updates section. So lots going on in the EVM world. As always, let me share some links here in the chat. First up, we've got EOS EVM version 0.5 is now live on the mainnet. These updates include increased stack size to allow deeper nested calls, rejecting non-EOS tokens in bridging, read-only transaction execution support, and some general bug fixes. So for those of you who are interested, you can find the show notes in the link. Oh, here, I'll share it. I'll share that link as well in here for Dave so he can show it to the people. And yeah, so there we go. Some upgrades already coming to the EOS EVM, even though it's only been live for what, 2 months now? April, May, June, something like that. Very cool to see the progress and the speed of development going on out there. All right, moving on to some more EOS EVM news. Last week, we talked about an AMA that was hosted on Twitter Spaces with NeutroSwap, one of the leading DeFi projects on the EVM. This week, the ENF featured NoahSwap via a Telegram AMA. So that happened yesterday, I think it was. And yeah, it was a very, very active chat. Went well, and it's always nice to be able to learn more about these various DeFi projects that are launching on the EOS EVM. So there you go. EOS Go also joined in the action, promoting all of the great things that are going on in the EOS EVM with a new article titled Adoption Through EOS EVM. Recaps a lot of the things we've already said here, either this week or last week, such as the NoahSwap AMA, the multi-chain EOS airdrip campaign that's going on right now, allowing people who bridge in tokens other than EOS onto the EOS EVM to get just a tiny bit of gas, just enough to make a swap to buy more EOS in order to be able to pay their gas for all their future trading. There's a note on the Programs and Operations Health Report that is published by the EOS Network Foundation. And there's also a piece about the BitKeep wallet that integrated the EOS EVM. So this is actually pretty big news. I personally had not heard of BitKeep. However, I am told that the Asian community knows BitKeep very well, and this is an exciting news for those. So here we can see some of the notes. Here says the partnership will see BitKeep integrate EOS EVM into its wallet, making it easy for its 10+ million users worldwide to interact with it. BitKeep users will also be able to swap the over 255,000 supported tokens with EOS and other EOS EVM tokens. What? Is this real? 255,000 tokens supported in one app? How is that even possible? I didn't even know, I knew there was thousands and thousands of shitcoins out there, but 255,000, what the hell? They're all EVM, says Aaron. Nice. Additionally, this partnership sees EOS and EOS EVM dApps such as Upland and NoahSwap get listed on the BitKeep dApp store, making it easier for users to directly access them and add them on their favorites list. So there you go, a little bit of information about BitKeep. Thank you to EOS Go for publishing this article. And yeah, support EOS Go through their Telegram channel, through their Twitter, and through their articles. Love to see them continuing to produce EOS content. EOS Go has been here from the very start of EOS. All right, and here's the official announcement from the BitKeep wallet. Here, BitKeep's excited to announce the partnership with the EOS Network Foundation, a force for positive global change, charting a coordinated future for the EOS Network through decentralization and community. There you go. So their custom mainnet now supports EOS EVM. And there you go. So we'll see, should see a lot of new users exposed to the EOS EVM. Looking forward to see how that impacts the usage and dApps, etc. All right, so what else do we have happening here in the world of EOS EVM? I think that's it. Anyone have anything else they'd want to share about EOS EVM? Maybe you tried it out for the first time, or there's some new apps or dApps that you want to share, let me know. We'll take a small musical break before moving on to our next token. One of the 250,000 tokens. Next topic soon.
I've got a question, Stephane.
Yeah, Perry.
Regarding the BitKeep wallet. I can see on the website it supports EOS. Does that mean tokens that are on the platform itself? Like, for example, the checks token?
I'm not sure about checks specifically, but it does say that, BitKeep now supports tokens from EOS and EOS EVM. So I'm not sure if that specific one is listed, but it does sound like a variety of EOS and EOS EVM tokens are listed. And I mean, they better be if these guys are listing 255,000 of them. I still can't really believe that number. What does it mean? Maybe it's like each token is wrapped like 100 times across 100 networks or something, and then they're staked, and then there's the liquid stake tokens. Maybe who knows how many derivatives this includes, but still a fun number to showcase. There you go, Dario coming in clutch with a screenshot from BitKeep showcasing some of the EOS tokens they're listing. I don't know if those are all of them, but we see EOS, USDT, LEOS, Leo something, Leocorn swap EOS? I don't know. So there you go. Some of the tokens listed. All right, before the next topic, just want to remind you guys, claim your POP token in the POP bot chat. Claims are live. Mint your monthly raffle ticket for the monthly raffle draw, which is going to happen in 2 weeks. You need 4 POP tokens to join the raffle. We're giving away 250 EOS in prizes through that raffle, on top of NFTs, on top of EOS moments, potentially Pomelo NFTs, some party crackers, all sorts of fun stuff can be won for those who hold the monthly raffle tickets. However, there might be some slight modifications to how we do that. We'll touch on that a bit later on when we get Denis on the call. But before we get to that, let's talk about the block producer monthly call that happened recently. So let me share some tweets and some links, of course, before getting into the topic so that Dave can do his thing. Here we've got a tweet from the EOS Network Foundation saying, last week the EOS block producers met for the top 30 monthly block producer call. Topics discussed include regulatory environment, market trends and financial resilience, ENF token sales, strategic partnerships, and more. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I feel like there was a lot of juicy information shared in here, and a lot of this I have not seen really discussed in the community so far. So I'm not sure if this this was published yesterday, so I guess I can give everyone a break for maybe not having read it already. But here's the link to the article, the June EOS block producer meeting recap. And I'm going to go over it right now. I've highlighted some of the most interesting sections that I found while reading it, and I'm going to share that with everyone today. So the meeting happened 1 week ago on June 14th. 18 BPs attended and 23 people participated in the discussion. So one of the first topics discussed was the regulatory environment and our position within it. So I'm not going to read the entire article. Definitely, if you're interested in this, go read it. Click the link, go read it. Definitely worth it. But here's some interesting highlights. Noting that EOS was formed and launched by a decentralized community and is considered a utility token, The important role that centralized bodies like the EOS Network Foundation and EOS Network Ventures play within the ecosystem was also emphasized. The ENF is continuously evaluating processes and structures to prevent encroachment into security territory. It was also emphasized that both the ENF and ENV operate with the guidance of legal counsel and conduct thorough research to ensure EOS stays clear of potential securities classification. This has been a priority since the inception of ENF. So I'm sure most of you guys have heard the SEC has kind of named multiple coins and projects as securities in the last couple of weeks. EOS has not been included in that list, so far so good. The article continues. Eve assured the attendees that there's been no indication or reason to consider EOS a security. And while the ENF does collaborate with government entities in various jurisdictions to facilitate growth for the EOS ecosystems, no government regulatory agency has approached the ENF in this regard. So interesting information shared here. Some of it I did not know before. All right, next section of the article, navigating market trends and ensuring financial resilience. Of course, there was mention of the recent price drops that have happened in the last weeks, a couple of months. Of course, these price drops have not been isolated to just EOS. This is a market-wide downturn. But while EOS has not been named a security, some of the uncertainty created by these SEC rulings certainly impacted EOS. But the article states that the ENF constantly reevaluates its budget and its initiatives and has maintained a conservative fiscal approach. The EOS community in general, not just the ENF, the EOS community has always operated with frugality due to the lack of previous funding opportunities and the value of resilience that has been developed through this mindset. While acknowledging the market's impact on the ENF and network participants, Eve expressed gratitude to all attendees for their continued participation. He reassured them that he did not anticipate any foreseeable impact on external-facing initiatives and community funding. These initiatives aim to allocate funds to projects within and for the community, and the ENF is confident in their continuity despite market fluctuations. So good to hear that the ENF is reassuring the BPs, the EOS community, that they don't at this point foresee impacts on external facing initiatives, which I imagine a lot of us out here through Pomelo, etc., are taking advantage of these external facing initiatives. Next section, ENF token sales, strategic partnerships, and market maker dynamics. So this part was particularly interesting to me. It reads, in part, the ENF has not sold any tokens on the open market for a significant period of time. And it was explained that the strategic partnership with DWF Labs required token accumulation to establish a balance sheet necessary for the partnership, while all token sales to DWF were conducted through an over-the-counter arrangement, keeping those tokens off the market. So this confirms something that I have actually asked the ENF previously when I heard about this DWF Labs strategic partnership where DWF were going to be buying tokens. I was wondering, does this mean that the ENF is not going to be selling tokens in the open market anymore to fund operations, and that they would instead sell it to such an entity? But I had not gotten any confirmation or anything like that. So it's good to see that fact being stated publicly in this block producer meeting recap. It continues a bit further down. This approach offers advantages as DWF, being a market maker, utilizes the token for utility purposes by pairing them with stablecoins such as USDT, USDC, and engaging in market making services. This not only prevents downward pressure on the token price, but also puts the tokens to work, fulfilling a specific role. Now, before you guys jump on here and ask me some questions, I don't know anything more than this article, and unfortunately, Yves was not available to join us today. But if you do have questions around this topic, and I imagine some of you do, note them down, and we can certainly address them with Yves on a future show when he's going to be here. The article continues. Also, in addressing the misconception that DWF, as a market maker, should have been able to prevent the token price from declining, it was reiterated that the overall market decline of approximately 30% affected multiple coins that also have very well established market makers. While market makers can protect against some volatility, they cannot single-handedly control an entire market. Furthermore, DWF's ability to influence the market is limited due to their possession of a relatively small number of tokens at the current time. As a market maker, efficiency increases with larger token supply, but the ENF has not possessed a significant number of tokens to provide to DWF. Also, some very interesting information contained here. If I can speculate, sounds like DWF will continue to be purchasing these tokens from the foundation, which means that, you know, the operations of the foundations continue to be funded by tokens that are not sold on the open market, which personally, as an EOS token holder, I appreciate that very much. All right, another section. Summary of fund creation, token transfers, and EOS Network Ventures investment activities. There's a couple of paragraphs I'm not going to read. Then the last paragraph says, it was revealed that the EOS Network Ventures is actively pursuing strategic partnerships with other funds and venture capitalists. 2 partnerships with different VCs have been established, and further information will be announced in the coming weeks. Despite the market's current downturn, the EOS Network Ventures is poised to make its initial investments and continues to evaluate DEX, platforms, and projects through negotiation. Yves assured attendees of his commitment to negotiating diligently for the benefit of all EOS token holders and expressed excitement about the agreed upon terms with the 4 projects under consideration. So again, some new information, I think, or at least that I wasn't aware of. 2 partnerships with different VCs have been established, but not yet announced. That's very exciting. I'm looking forward to learn more about that. And then it sounds like, you know, Yves is excited about the agreed upon terms with 4 projects under considerations. So a lot of juicy info there, teasing future announcement, as is the way in crypto. Okay, next section, financial management and strategic positioning. This section highlights that EOS has maintained its relative rank. So if you go look on the CoinGecko top 100 coins, EOS, while the price has suffered recently in the short term, but many other tokens have also suffered the same fate. And in the end, EOS has been able to maintain its relative rank compared to other crypto projects, which I think is a very important metric to determine, you know, how successful the network is. Addressing concerns about expenditures, some context was provided by comparing the ENF's spending with that of its competitors. Speaking to the frugality with limited resources, despite its lower spending, EOS competes with entities that allocate 10 to 20 times more funds to maintain their ranking. So this kind of talks to a point that actually Yves brought up last week on the Fireside, where a lot of these other foundations are spending a lot more money than EOS and not seeing necessarily better gains in the rankings than EOS, which highlights you know, the frugality and the efficiency of the EOS Network Foundations and the impact that its initiatives are having. The positive article continues. The positive perception of EOS among various strategic partners who regard it as undervalued and presenting significant opportunities was also mentioned. So Yves has mentioned this a while back as well when he was doing a lot of live events, saying that, you know, once people understand the reality of what's going on in EOS right now, which is oftentimes very different than what they think is going on, they realize that EOS is potentially undervalued, and then that presents significant opportunities for them to invest in. So very cool to see that point reiterated again. All right, and finally, some updated travel plans and event attendance. So Eve had previously scheduled trips to Hong Kong and Japan. Those have been canceled, but he will be rescheduling the Hong Kong visit due to important business dealings and opportunities in the region. Eve also applied for a special Hong Kong visa, which requires him to return in person. Eve also plans to attend the WebEx conference in Japan at the end of July. In terms of the ENF's sponsorship at Token 2049, that has been canceled in light of recent events and budgetary prudence. Instead, the ENF will focus on attending Korea Blockchain Week in Seoul. And then Eve also announced his intention to attend an Upbit developer conference in November. So that was a big article, lots of, in my opinion, very important information. And I encourage you guys to go read it in full. There's also the block producer attendee list. I'm not going to read it out. All of the names that you kind of expect to be there were there. And yeah, so at this point, if anyone from the ENF wants to add any context there, I always appreciate extra context on top of these articles. If anyone from the community wants to share some thoughts or comments, please do so right now.
Stephane, maybe you can walk us through the advantages of DNF not buying off the open market as a token holder. I think you said as a token holder, I'm glad they're not buying off the open market, or maybe you said I'm glad
they're not, that ENF is not selling on the open market. And I mean, to me, it just means there's reduced selling pressure on the open market, which should reduce the downward pressure on price.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand all the details of the deal, but why do the tokens that the DNF need to come from ENF, EWF? Why can't they just buy them on the open market?
Well,
why does ENF need to sell?
I mean, ENF needs to sell tokens to fund operations, right? So they get their allocation every month, and they need to sell those tokens for dollars to pay people, because unfortunately, it's still illegal to pay people in crypto in most places. Obviously, ENF needs dollars to operate, and then so they sell EOS tokens every month. If they sell on the open market, and then DWF buys it on the open market, I guess it's kind of a wash in the end. Instead, they just sell directly to DWF. To me, that makes sense. But other than that, I don't have any special information or anything like that. I'm not necessarily well-versed in that world.
I'm guessing those things aren't equivalent in terms of volume. The ENF, I don't think, is spending as much as the liquidity pool provider needs. So that's not really, I don't know.
Well, it does say that DWF has not yet accumulated the entire position it wants or needs. So it sounds like there's a plan to continue to, for the ENF to continue to sell these tokens to DWF over the coming months.
I'm not seeing how that benefits the price of the coin. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, if you assume that DWF is buying it for sure, then yes, I see. Then regardless if they buy it on the open market where ENF is selling it to them, or if they buy it OTC where ENF is selling them, I guess it's kind of a wash. But what's really important here, I think, is that the ENF was able to convince a strategic partner to sign an agreement where that strategic partner wants to buy these tokens over a period of time, because they feel that, it's going to be strategically advantageous to their business. So I think that's obviously the big highlight here. Obviously, that's not news. We heard about this a while back, but I don't think it had been confirmed that the ENF was selling some of their tokens to the DWF instead of on the open market. Hopefully, I didn't get anything wrong here. Again, I'm just going off what I read in this article, and so yeah, maybe we need to wait for Eve or Zach or others of the ENF to be present to be able to ask them questions and get better answers.
That's fair. That's fair.
But thank you, as always, Perry, asking good questions. I like it. All right, we got 2 more guests to get to. We've got half an hour left in the show. Sounds about right for the timing. Next up, I would like to invite Denis Carrière of Pinax to talk to us about Substreams, about Firehose and Substreams on Antelope. We started the conversation last week on Fireside with Matthew doing a quick presentation giving us an overview of what Firehose and Substreams are. Today we're going to dive in a bit deeper, a bit more technical with Denis, talking about a couple of topics related to this technology and also why Denis is excited about building with Firehose and Substreams. Welcome back to the Fireside, Denis. It's been a while since we heard from you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Steph, for the introduction. And you can hear me, right? I'm not muted or anything.
You're good. Coming in clear.
Sounds good. So we're going to be talking about Substreams on Antelope. So we're using a technology called Substream. It's been developed by String Fast team, and it's kind of under the umbrella of the Graph. And it's a high throughput blockchain sort of extraction tool. So the tools of what it does is that it extracts, transforms, and load. Typical data processing where if you have data, you need to get it out of a database. You need to either manipulate it, sort of transform it, and then you need to load it into whatever medium that you want. It could be a CSV file, it could be a database, it could be a SQL database. So that's usually sort of like the 3 main core pillars is extract, transform, and load. And that's what Substreams can do. And I'm going to explain all the tooling around it and sort of how it gets across. So I can start. So for the streaming data, it uses gRPC, and it also connects to Connect Web, which is a sort of a proxy for gRPC. gRPC is built by Google, so it's really reliable, and it's also language agnostic, which means that when you're communicating with gRPC, you can use Python, Node.js, Go, Rust, sort of pick your language, and most likely there's going to be gRPC support. So you can stream in any language. Most of the team, we use Node.js, but the Streaming Fast team builds everything in Go, and we also have a tool in Python. So you can see that it doesn't really matter what language you're building this with. You can pick your language, and there'll probably be support for it. And when you're coming to extracting data, that's where the Substream, kind of like a smart contract, you would build code to extract the blockchain data that you want, kind of like building an index. That's using Rust. So all of the extraction tools are using Rust. So there's a little bit of learning curve learning Rust. But if anybody's built, smart contracts on EOS and you got to learn C++, that's also a learning curve as well. The type of data that you would extract is block data. So the whole block, that's the first primitive data set that you're going to get from Substream. It's the block information. And that's like the block number, the clock, all the Merkle roots. You have actions, transactions. You have state changes. So whenever there's an action that impacts a table on the smart contract, it will show you the difference. So the before and after values for example, when you're doing a token transfer, you're going to user A transfers to user B, well, -1 + 1, and that would be a state change. And that in Substream is capturing all of those state changes, whether you want to keep the before and after or only care about the after, or maybe you only care about the delta, right? The in between, what is the changes? You have access to that type of information. And you also have like access to the what time it happened, so at which block number that all these events happened. This you can store all the information or you can ignore it. It really depends on your use case, but you have access to all of those primitive data sets. So action, events, dates, and all the block meta information. And the other thing too is after that, so after you've got the data that you care about, you might want to filter it because you don't want everything. You don't want the whole block with every single transaction. And this is where you get into filtering. You can filter by, let's say, account, or you can filter by a token symbol. You can say, I only want EOS tokens, or I only want the account that's my account for whatever, or my smart contract. You can filter and only fetch the information that you want to get. You can also put parameters. So maybe you don't know what you want to look for, but you want to put a parameter that says, if from equals, I'm going to tell you later, which is kind of like an input parameter. You can also provide that, which makes the extraction and the sort of filtering very flexible, because you could put a parameter that in the future you will tell it what the account name is down the road. So you can filter it. So there's that filtering. And once it's all filtered and extracted and transformed to your liking, then you need to load it into your database of choice, let's say. So that is what we call syncs. So it'll be like Substream syncs. They're usually programmed in either Node.js or in Go. So those will be the two languages. So you don't have to use Rust anymore. You can either just kind of skip to the, I already have my data. I just need to load it into my Postgres or SQL. And that's sort of where you get to see the data for the first time, because you've extracted it. Now you're loading it into, perhaps it's a CSV, or perhaps it's a web server that you're just posting data to, like a webhook. Or maybe it's Google Sheet, or you want to load up your Google Sheet. So a Google Sheet is kind of like a database. Might not be the most elaborate database, but it's a database. So if you're using also Postgres, MySQL, Elasticsearch, all of that, you can then load the data that you extracted from Substreams into your data source. So that kind of sums up all the mechanics. And you can see with that type of a flexibility, with sort of an extract, transform, and load, you can let's say, rebuild public API endpoints, maybe such as the Atomic API. So you can kind of rebuild some of these on-chain APIs using all of these mechanics. And I'm looking forward to seeing, other than our team, build on top of Substreams. And I think, it's really flexible, and really looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds.
Awesome. That was a great explanation, Denis. I was able to follow a lot of it, so I appreciate that. You do bring up a good point there at the end about rebuilding public blockchain APIs. So unfortunately, this week, the team behind Atomic Hub, has removed the public Atomic Assets API from their offerings. So now if you want to access some of this NFT data on EOS, you need to run the API yourself, and it's not necessarily the easiest thing to do. So that does actually have some impacts to the services that we offer. So for example, our harvest page on harvest.pomelo.io you leveraged that public API, so some of the functionalities there are not valid anymore. And same thing for our blend UI, unfortunately. So those of you who want to blend your ticket for next month, you will have to do it manually by transferring the 4 pop tokens from your account to the blend.gems account, including the memo. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Denis, but it would be collection name, : template ID of the NFT you're trying to create. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
So in our situation, you're going to select 4 pop tokens, transfer it to blend.gems, and include the memo community NFT, which is the name of the collection, : and then the template ID of the ticket you're trying to blend, which I'm going to look up just now. So maybe, Denis, while I do this, maybe you can talk a bit about what our plans are in that sense to rebuild these tools and how Substreams and Firehose may help us.
Yeah, for sure. So the 2 big things that most all blockchains use or depend on is tokens and NFTs. That's, let's say, the 95% of the use cases. Everything that is DeFi kind of revolves around tokens, whether it's the assets that you swap, whether it's the LP tokens that you receive by providing liquidity. So everything kind of revolves around tokens for the most part. So what we're aiming for is to go and rebuild, or not rebuild, just build a token API that would be leveraging Substreams. That would be kind of the go-to standard example that people can kind of grab to get started. That way, it's simple mechanics. You have simple things like issue, transfer, all of the sort of token mechanics that you would expect. Then you have an example that you can then build on top of that. Maybe you have a very specific use case. You have a game or you have a marketplace, and then you can just modify the token Substream API example with your own. And we're also going to be doing one with NFTs as well, starting with atomic assets. Atomic assets is a lot more complicated than the standard EOSIO token. So there's like collections, schemas, templates, but it's all data that is a table or an action. And we're also going to be looking into doing the same for EVM chains as well. So we were going to have ERC20 and ERC721. So that way you have something to compare with an EVM environment, but using the same stack. That way, regardless if you're on Antelope or regardless if you're on EVM, it's the same stack and it's the same mechanics using Substreams. And that's kind of what we want to bridge. We want to bridge that it's multi-chain and multi-platform, multi-ecosystem. Essentially, it's if you want to be able to use Substream, you can be on EVM or Antelope or any other supported chain that has Substreams on. Yeah. All right, I think I see you got the memo posted for your pop token. So I think I can give it back to you there, Steph, if you're...
There we go, yeah. So exactly, so PPD asked if there's 2 or 1 : there are 2 of them. So it is community NFT : 10475 in order to mint the June raffle ticket. Unfortunately, the Bounty Block drop tool also leveraged the public API for some of its functions. And so I'm unsure if I'll be able to do the pop token distribution tonight. We may have to build a workaround for that. So you can definitely sign up for your pop tokens. I'm definitely going to note them down. But if you don't receive them today or over the next few days, that's why we're going to be kind of building a workaround, because I certainly cannot initiate 83 different transfers to 83 different accounts. That is not going to be how we're going to do this. Yeah, so there you go. So that's kind of one example of, how Firehose and Substreams are going to be able to help us out and help us build better tools, better dApps, better visualization for all of this blockchain data that's out there. Thanks a lot, Denis. Any questions from anyone in the crowd or want to jump on stage real quick? I'll give you guys a couple moments to think of some questions and ask them. And if not, we're going to move on to our final guest of the day. There you go, Drew Joy, highlighting that EOS USA does offer the Atomic Assets API. So if you're an app out there, you've been relying on the public one, you want to continue having access, reach out to EOS USA. They may be able to help you out. It is a paid service, to be clear, and you can check out those details at eosusa.io/hosting. Thank you, Drew, for that important information. All right. Oh, PPPD saying that you can do it with just one colon for the minting of the NFTs. All right. Well,
yeah, I think it was one colon. I was kind of surprised with the number. I think it is one.
Oh, it is just one? I was just confused. All right, that happens. There you go. So just one colon. Community NFT colon 10475 will get you your June raffle tickets. All right, good stuff. Okay, moving on to our next topic of the day. I'd like to invite Mo, our chief delegate for this current season of Eden. He's going to come on and talk to us about the upcoming election and some of the other things that are going on in the Eden community. Mo ZDS, are you with us?
Yeah. Hey, Stephane. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, Mo. We can hear you. Welcome to the Fireside.
Thank you. Well, just to get right into it, you guys might have read BioWire's article about Eden on EOS and the proposed new direction. Maybe or maybe not.
I did read it. It caught my attention. One thing that stood out was this 300 EOS that anyway, I'll just let you get into it, actually.
Yeah. Let me give you guys a little bit of a background and history on how we got to where we're at. Over the last 2.5 months, we've been holding a series of strategy workshops and meetings held by Gabriel Shaw to kind of come to consensus on what the direction of Eden, on what Eden is and what Eden on EOS is, first of all. So we've decided to focus in on the fact that this is an iteration of Eden on EOS with our specific goal of helping out and adding value, bringing value back to the EOS community, right? So that's one thing. Then after that, we began holding these sessions, trying to narrow in on exactly what we can bring to the table, what we can offer the EOS community. And we went around and brainstormed a lot. There was a series of sessions going on, and basically they evolved into us asking the hard questions and trying to come to grips with what exactly we can add and what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are. They were long sessions. They were arduous. The people that are there can attest to these. So words like decentralization, distributed authority, fund allocation, community building, outreach, these were all mentioned as some of our strengths, and lack of focus was kind of what was identified as our weaknesses, the inability to organize, right? So we reached consensus mostly around the fact that we're an effective WPS and we have a good fund distribution mechanism. That was our engine, as you could say. So what we were lacking was that greater focus and direction on where the organization needs to go and how we can harness our ability to distribute this funding for a more impactful outcome. So another thing that we've done over the over the course of these 2.5 months, Lenny and I have commissioned a fund distribution summary to be able to look back over the last 2 years and analyze exactly where our funding has gone, what value we've contributed to the EOS community in exchange for the inflation that they've given us and their time and attention. So we're hopefully going to publish this in the coming days, and we'll be able to see what the members have done and what projects within the community we've funded and what value we've returned. I think it'll prove to show us that we've been able to fund some really respected members. We've been able to locate and elevate these members to stature where they could be effective leaders in our community. Some people that were not as well known, some people that were more well known. But what we haven't been able to do is organize and cooperate amongst each other to leverage the treasury effectively in a way where it would have more impact than what it's had. It's been impactful. I hope this report will show that, but it could have been more. So given that that's the direction, or as far as we've gotten, the strategy meetings were a way of getting consensus and buy-in from the community, from the Eden on EOS community, on what best way we can leverage what we have now to be effective, to contribute to the EOS community what it's lacking and fill a gap, and hopefully augment and amplify the effects of the direction that the ENF is going already. So we have we came up with the idea of launching a type of incubator, a decentralized incubator, you could say. We already have the structure and an international community and the ability to reach out all over the world and recruit projects. So we want to change the way that the delegates function to be that, recruiters for projects that may or may not get recognized as easily and brought onto the EOS mainnet or the EVM, and leverage the network, put it to use, and increase the usage, the reach that we have. So yeah, the idea here with that is basically first recruit the projects, get them in working with us, launch an incubator, which would be a circle within within Eden on EOS DAO. Have the projects go through the circle, come out the other end. If they're viable and can and are seen to be good investments, then they'll receive funding that's going to be unlocked from our treasury in larger chunks. We're hoping that the first unlock can be a sizable unlock, and effectively direct funding to those projects that then we can prepare to receive more attention and more funding from other entities in our ecosystem that are better prepared to fund those projects and grow them. So what we want to do is bring in all of these diamonds in the rough and prepare an environment that can allow for easier picking. Hopefully that's going to be able to leverage the Eden on EOS community in a way that adds more direct value, more impactful value to the EOS community itself, and can continue receiving inflation in turn. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
All right, good stuff. Thanks for the update. Any thoughts on the upcoming election?
Let me just circle back around to your original question, though. I think I completely skipped it. In regards to the 300 EOS that were being requested from the delegates, it's due to the fact that since the beginning of this season, Lenny and I have instituted or tried to organize more structure into the Eden on EOS DAO, where we've started circles and had members from the community participating in these circles that are dedicated to specific parts of the organization that needed more focus, and such as the elections, the tech and dev, organizing our technical teams and our developers within the community, our communications and marketing and media and such. So these are different circles within Eden on EOS that have now been started, and we encourage everyone that's an Eden member to show up to these circles. They're almost every day of the week. You can check in the members channel, and you can see when the meetings are. And we're funding these circles initially right now through donations from the delegates, because there is no obligation for them to pay, but we would like them to lend a helping hand right now. And since also we have delegate meetings every Thursday for all the delegates in here, that it might be a little late now in the season to find out, but you're still welcome to join and contribute. In the delegate meetings, we came to consensus amongst those that showed up that it would be a reasonable ask for 300 from each delegate. Lenny and I, as chief delegates, are putting in 1,800 each to get these circles off the ground and funded, and give back and contribute to the people that have given their time to try to make this work and add more structure to Eden on EOS. Hopefully, if we can do this right and going forward into the next season, we'll be able to give the next set of chief delegates organization that they'll be able to leverage as an incubator. So.
All right. So let me just be clear here. The delegates that are elected in the upcoming election, this 300 EOS is an ask of them that they donate 300 of the EOS they'll receive as an elected delegate to this purpose. Is that right?
No. It's an ask of the current delegates that they donate right now. That they go and, yes, they donate to wgfunds.eden. So we have that account opened up to fund the circles. And we're asking the current delegates to please donate 300 EOS to that account so that we can then distribute it to Eden on EOS, who have, over the last 2.5 months, now 3 months, attended almost regularly. And although the meetings have happened regularly, these regular meetings to add more structure and organization to Eden on EOS, and hopefully turn it into a better, well-oiled machine in the areas that it was lacking.
All right. And do you anticipate the next set of delegates to also be asked to donate the 300 EOS to these circles?
Currently, what we're proposing, as I was mentioning, this outline of a decentralized incubator accelerator program, DAO, is that we're going to propose a completely new way of distributing funding, where the next set of delegates are going to receive a flat rate. The difference is going to go to fund the circles. So there's going to be an unlock that's going to go from the treasury that's going to go directly to funding these circles. So they won't be asked to. I'm sorry. If this proposal is passed and ratified by the next set of chief delegates, they'll have to also agree to take out from their own funding, because the coding won't be done until afterwards. So they'll have to agree also to donate the requested amount of funding.
Right.
Afterwards, that would be season 7, which is the one that we're going to go into now. Season 8, hopefully at that point, the code will be complete and the distribution will have changed. So there will be an account that will be distributing funding directly to the circles, and the delegates will no longer have to carry the burden of having to think about that.
All right, got it. Is that proposal already written out? Can we go read it?
Yes, the proposal is in the members in the Eden members channel. All Eden members are free to go in there and check it out and contribute. We're looking forward to hearing back from the Eden members and getting their input on anything that they see, whether they agree, disagree, or what they think needs to be changed. Everything is good. Up until this point, it's largely been done with consensus and buy-in from the Eden on EOS community, as much as all of the members that have contributed and shown up over the last 2.5 months have given to that. So we're looking forward to hearing from anyone whose voice has not been heard and feels that they also want to contribute.
All right, excellent. Because these proposals that need to be ratified by the next incoming set of chief delegates, they need to be submitted 2 weeks before the election. Is that right?
Correct. So Friday is the deadline.
Exactly.
This coming Friday. So we have a couple of days, 2 or 3 days left. Hopefully, there's a lot to read and a lot to catch up on. And Lenny and I are available. We make ourselves very available to everyone in case there are questions. So we're very willing to talk it out.
There you have it. And then the next election is on Saturday, July 8th. That means you need to be signed up 24 hours ahead of time on Friday, July 7th. And you can sign up right now if you want to participate in the next Eden election. All right. Well, thank you, Mo, for this explanation. Definitely cleared things up for me on my side. I had some questions about where this 300 EOS was coming from or whatever. So thank you very much for clearing that up.
Well, no problem. Glad to help.
I just want to. Sorry to jump in, Stephane. I just want to.
You're not sorry to jump in. Don't lie to us, Patrick.
Thank you, Stephane, to remind that. Yeah.
Jump on in, Patrick. You're invited.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to complete what just stated Mo. Shout out to Mo, by the way. I just put the link to the Telegram channel where there are the bylaws that are just drafted. There is also the purpose paper, named like this, and the dispute resolution process. So you have the bylaw document that is pointing to the purpose paper and to the dispute resolution process. So you have to read that. You can make your comment into the chat there. That's very well made. Then you have a video of last Saturday that is embedded into the article of Michael that he has made on Sunday. So that was the interview of Lenny and Mo, very crystal clear, explaining what is the goal of this wgfunds.eden EOS account. And that's just a projected commitment. That has nothing to do with the future. That's just to make a gesture. And you have also the upvote bot of Luca that you have to use during the next election, because that will be used. There will be the upvote bot this time. And you have the portal of Eden on EOS. And that's very cool if everyone has the upvote bot Telegram on one side and the website of the portal on the other side. Like this, you are never lost in case there is a problem. We never know on the day of the election what can happen. If you have a spinning wheel or whatever could happen, the upvote bot will guide you, and also he will guide you to blocks.io to vote in case that you cannot vote through the UI, and he will pre-fill the fields. Like this, you have just to push on chain. So I think that will be very smooth. And upvote bot has made a great job. Shout out to Luca also. So that's what I want to complete here. Doing the videos of the CDs as always, and following the things very closely. And this Thursday there is the open delegate all meeting as every Thursday, and all time stamped. So I encourage people to join, because there will be a resume of what has done Lenny and Mo. So again, shout out to every Eden on EOS member. And that's all, Stephane.
All right, thank you, Patrick.
And yeah, baby.
Let me just add one more thing to that. We are currently, with the documents that Patrick mentioned, the bylaws, the dispute resolution, and the purpose paper, you have to ask permission. You have to request access. Lenny has that. Ask him for access. He'll grant it. And we just want to kind of find out who and how many people are reading. So, please do.
That's to see the people that are really interested into hidden on EOS. Otherwise, we cannot do some accounting and some, let's say, analytics. So that's very great that that's asking for access. If you want to know the things, you have to show some interest. Otherwise, like said my grandmother, it's too much easy. You cannot give water to a camel that doesn't want to drink. So that's very good, and I love it. That is asking the access to the document. That's very smart from you, Mo, and Lenny, for sure.
So please request access. You won't be denied.
Never. With Mo and Denis, you are never denied. For sure.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Stephane knows me very well. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's any questions from the community or any comments.
Yeah, nice advertising here on the Fireside chat. That's the place to do. And now there is a silence.
Is that the calm before the storm?
Oh yes, it's me talking into a muted mic again. It has to happen once a show, and the show's about to be over, so I had to get that one in there. I was just thanking you guys for joining the Fireside, talking with us today. Also thanking you guys for all the great work you guys have done for Eden. You two are very dedicated to the Eden community. And I like to hear what's come out of the last few months, and looking forward to reading that proposal. I'm going to be joining the election, trying to get elected for the first time. So please vote for me if you were in the same room on July 8th. And other than that, thanks a lot. And we'll talk.
I have a question for you, Stephane. I have a question for you, Stephane. Do you will join with all the best intent of the galaxy into this hidden on EOS?
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, I hope this proposal convinces you then.
There you go.
I hope it's convincing. And I hope you get elected.
Thanks. Okay, cool. We're going to move on real quickly here. Before we go, want to highlight that on the ENF blog, on the events page, they're now featuring online events such as this Fireside chat and potentially other events. So you can go check out that events page. Also, the ecosystem page features various dApps from the ecosystem, whether it be native, EVM, whatever it is. However, to be featured, you do need to submit your project. So please, if you have a project on EOS, submit it to the EOS Network Foundation so that you can be added to this page, listed along all the other great dApps that are listed there in the EOS ecosystem. So there you go. That's going to wrap it up for our topics. At this point, of course, open mic, off-topic banter, Bitcoin pumping, big boys applying for Bitcoin ETFs. Been kind of an exciting week in crypto. So if there's any topics you guys want to talk about, now's the time to do it.
Yeah. Hey, can I plug my reputation system Pomelo grant real quick? Or did I just do that?
Sure. Who is this?
Mo.
Mo. Hey, Mo.
Yeah.
No, definitely. You can definitely do your pitch. If we've got other Pomelo grant owners that didn't do their pitch in the rapid fire session that we had earlier on the show, definitely put your hand up right now and we can do another round of pitches. Also, if you have a collection, I'd love to hear about your Pomelo collection so we can do collection pitches as well. Go for it, Mo.
Yeah, well, just that. I got the Eden Open Source Illustrated Reputation System grant approved by Pomelo recently. It took a little bit longer than usual, but it's up and it's approved, and it's a reputation system that can be leveraged by the entire EOS community. So we can have different projects using the same reputation system that will allow you to go from one project to the next and recognize who's a trusted or a reliable or a responsible member of the community, and we need these kind of projects out in the ecosystem. So please support it. It's based on NTTs and NFTs. So and it's also from the ground up and bottom up and top down. It'll allow you to send NTTs to each other, to the different members, if you want to recognize them for their efforts, and for organizations to also issue NTTs to its members. So you have different ways to evaluate the trust and reliability and charity and different kind of characteristics of each individual.
All right, I like it. Please post a link to your grant in the chat so people can access it very quickly. Catherine asked, what is an NTT? An NTT is a non-transferable token. So it's very similar to an NFT, except that you cannot transfer it around. So for example, the Pomelo achievement badges are an example of an NTT, non-transferable token. Chase wants to do a drive-by pitch. All right, let's try it out, Chase. Jump on the mic if you want. Let's pitch the grant while driving.
I don't know how I'm coming through, but yeah, I figured I'd do a drive-by pitch here. So
let's go.
For this season of Pomelo, what we're doing at Challenge Stack is, for those of you who aren't familiar, Challenge Stack, we got close to 20,000 users. We've been developing for a few years, and what we want to do is we want to add the EVM into the application. So allow Challenge Stack users to be able to interact with the EVM and just pretty much bring it out into the application, and then open source all of it and make it accessible for other projects to use too. So it's a big undertaking by us, and but I think we can do it, and I think it would be good for us, and it would be good for the EVM. So it's something we're excited about.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Chase, for that pitch, and good luck this season in Pomelo. I see we've got Lenny in the chat sharing his recaps grant. Lenny, did you want to jump on stage here real quick and talk about your grant? Sounds like the audio issues. Oh no, sorry, that's Chase that we were hearing. Maybe Lenny is not set up for chatting today. It's very possible. So I'll give a pitch for him. Support Lenny in the recaps. Curated short pointers and links, making it easier to stay up to date on development within your area of interest. Basically, short snippets with links, which leads you to the full context, be it an article or any other text or video post. So there you go. There you have it. Support Lenny, longtime OG EOS community member, and currently one of our chief delegates. Yes, that's right. One of our chief delegates currently. So there you go. Support the recaps on Pomelo. All right. Any other? Oh, Denis had put up his hand up saying he's got a topic to share about Yield Plus EVM support. Very interesting, Denis.
Yeah. So the title explains it exactly what it is. So I'm just wrapping up the last sort of updates. So if you look at the pull request, there's essentially all the features to port. Like we still need to do some testing. But at least now we're going to be able to test the EVM support on Yield Plus. The big thing was to get the token balances fetching from EOS and pulling token balances on EVM. So that is now working. It's still we're still going to be testing it for a few weeks probably. Just kind of working at the kinks, just getting familiar with it. There's probably some UI updates as well. but the smart contract seems to all be good to go. So incoming yield plus for EVM soon. And I think I finished the last feature on this Fireside chat.
There you go. I like it. And yeah, that's very exciting. See some juiced up yields coming to these protocols. Yeah, a couple weeks of testing, and I guess we'll have another announcement where once the final date is official.
Yeah, it's not going to be tomorrow or this week. There's definitely some testing with all the yield plus participants that are sort of launching the program. But it's near. It's coming soon. How about that?
So maybe July or August?
Good.
Something like that?
I don't know about August. That's from personal. It has to be before August.
It has to be before August, or else we're not getting it for a while. Okay. Okay, cool. That's great. That's great. That means that's pretty soon. I like to hear that. Yeah. That's awesome.
And this is using one of the latest features that the EVM team just launched, which is the EVM callback. So you can do, maybe I have an example that I built just to kind of experiment with it. But it's a callback function for EOS smart contract to execute method selectors on EVM. So for example, a method selector would be get balance or get precision of the token. So here you can go with your EOS smart contract, fetch the data on an EVM smart contract and return the value in a sort of a callback, like an inline action callback. And it's all atomic, like within a single transaction. So you can get the balance of the EVM, update the balance internally, and then do whatever thing that you want to do. So it works. It's a little intense. There's definitely a learning curve on this one. But if anybody wants to experiment building EOS smart contracts and fetching EVM-based methods, you now can, and it's working on mainnet and testnet. But it's intense. It's not for a beginner. You got to go deep into you have to know both stacks. Very familiar. You have to know EVM side, all the EVM stuff, and you have to know Antelope, all the Antelope stuff. So it's kind of like you have to be a master of both sides, which is hard.
You want to be a blockchain big boy.
You have to be a big boy. And you have to know what you're looking at. But that's the other half of the battle, because you're getting everything in bytes. You have to decode bytes and parse bytes, and oh my god, too many bytes. But it works. So
that being said, I think this is one of the first times it's ever been done on an EVM and a native chain.
I can't see I can't see that happening. So this is like, you can now connect into EVM with another chain, like two chains essentially talking to each other within an inline action, which is just crazy in my opinion. But yeah, I don't think that this has been done in other chains, or at least that functionality was never made available between those two chains.
Two chains, one contract.
I've been looking for it because I think that it's a really interesting feature. It allows somebody to do hardcore processing of EVM data on a more scalable network. So even though our EVM is quite scalable, the native chain is, of course, more scalable. And it allows you to utilize the existing tooling that surrounds the EVM, so MetaMask and all of the other development tools, as well as the raw speed of the native network. So you can combine these in intricate and interesting ways to create applications that I don't think you could have created before.
Totally, I agree. I posted the transaction just for if anybody wants to go dive into the transaction. This is the yield plus dev contract that is essentially communicating back and forth between, hey, look up this balance. Oh, and update this balance. So it actually does two communication between two different chains, EVM and EOS, and updates the balance. And that's one of the requirements for Yield Plus, is to fetch the balances between both EOS and EVM. And then whenever that balance is updated, then it gives a reward to that protocol. But yeah, I'm happy that the EVM team was able to deploy that feature. And yeah, it's very promising. For those core smart contract developers that want to go dive really deep, you can now go really deep. So yeah, stuff.
All right, very cool. Yeah, very cool. Thanks for this bonus deep tech topic here to round out the show. I think we're going to wrap it up here. We've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes now. Sounds like a good time to wrap it up. So thank you to all our guests that joined today. Thank you to all of our attendees that jumped on stage with me to ask some good questions. Thanks to all the grant owners that pitched their grants. Good luck, everyone in Pomelo. Remember, one more week of Pomelo donations. So get out there, donate to your favorite projects, favorite community members. And I hope everyone has a good week. And until next time, let's go, EOS!
Go EOS, nom de bleu!